good or bad. I've done my research into death rates, as in killing rates, amongst indigenous tribes all over the world, and the facts are, before the agricultural revolution, men and women were killing each other at much higher rates per capita than they are now. So for a lot, I just want to say to all the conspiracy theorists, things are, if we're looking at absolute death rates per capita, things are getting a lot more peaceful. I am comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with indigenous cultures, you know, battling it out for honor and killing each other and raiding each other's farms for cattle and so forth. But how do we, because when I look at the Venus Project, I see a utopian vision where almost we can change man and women's own internal spirit, human nature. How do we go about changing someone's nature?
Okay. First of all, as a kid, when I was about 15 or 16, I asked all those questions you're asking now. So I said to myself, how can you make a world of uniformity, bring all the nations together? The social customs, their concept of God is different. They may have 10 wives, you believe in one. How do you bring them together? And I said the most difficult 3 words in my life: I don't know. I really didn't know. I said, how can I do that? So I said, don't try to design a global civilization until you understand what you're talking about. So I got confused. I started my own thinking is talking to yourself.
Yes.
If I say, I'll see you Saturday, you know, I take the kids in, and he said, I can't see you. See, so it's talking to yourself. There's nothing magical. So I talked to myself and I said, how do you know your system will work? It sounds good on paper. You sound like, as my own language, a utopian. So I got a book from the library years ago, and it was called 125 Utopias and Why They Failed. To me, that was very important to read. And I read that book, and I came up with something slightly different. I felt that I had in my day a thing called a Victrola. You wind it up and the record would play. And I was thinking within those terms, and my age, like 94, I've seen so many changes that I couldn't accept the notion of utopia. If I designed a very good city, that's the best I know up to now. But I know that that new city would be a straitjacket to the kids of the future.
Yes.
They'll design their own cities. So if you made a statue of me in front of that city, you hold back the future. If you have a laptop, which I'm sure you may have, okay, a laptop is not the best that can be. It's the best we know of up to now. 10 years from now, the laptop will be smaller, lighter, faster, everything. You can't freeze anything, or you can't use the word utopia because it assumes you've done the ideal civilization, and to me that's ridiculous. Anything I design can be surpassed.
Yeah, of course.
Even in the history of my own work, I keep changing things.
Okay, but
I have no fixed notions.
But coming back to my question.
Does that answer your question?
Not yet. No, it doesn't answer my question, because all the visions of the Venus Project I've seen, they look beautiful. They are stunningly well-designed worlds. But it seems like a lot of the people that I've spoken to, not yourself yet, I'm speaking to you now, they see a world without greed, without fear, without murder, without governments, without police forces, without investment bankers.
How do you attain that if there's such a thing as jealousy, even a thing like that?
Or terrorism. Someone might want to blow up.
Sure. I met many different people in my travels, and I try to explain what jealousy is. See, they don't define their terms. If you ask a particular person, what is your conclusions now in life that you're 70 years old? Because, well, I'm a nature lover. I believe in letting nature alone. I think nature is a wonderful thing. I say, you mean you like hurricanes, earthquakes, which kill thousands of people? That's nature too. Being ruthlessly honest, there are some aspects of nature that preserve life and some that are dangerous. A rattlesnake is natural, a cobra is natural, and an earthquake is natural. And meteors falling on the earth is natural. So I'm not a nature acceptor. There's some aspects of nature I like, other aspects are detrimental to human beings. So I have, when I meet a person, say I'm a nature lover, I say, what do you mean by that? Another person says, I'm spiritual. I'm not sure what they mean. So I say, what do you mean by that? You mean you have no locks on your door? If you see a hungry person, you bring them into your house and feed them? Oh, no. And I know that what they're talking about, they have no real clarification of the use of words. Mm-hmm. And then I begin to get confused because I want to know what the other person means when he says, I believe in social design. I'm a socialist. I say, or I meet another guy who says, I'm a communist. I said, how would you prevent corruption under communism? I don't know. I said, how would you house the millions of people that need housing? I don't know. Then just say, tell me more about what you believe in. They have no information. Then I meet a friend of mine or an acquaintance, not really that close, and he told me he was running for political office. I said, I'm so sorry to hear that.
Well, yeah,
he didn't get the message.
He didn't understand.
Of course he didn't get. He said, what do you mean by that? I said, as politicians, I've met many of them in Washington. Mm-hmm. And I said, how would you stop cars from hitting each other? I don't know. Mm-hmm. How would you increase the agricultural yield without exhausting the soil? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Or what do you know about the physical world? Well, I guess I'm not technical. Mm-hmm. I said, okay. You understand that everything we have today, your cameras, your car, your airplanes, your communications are all technical. Mm-hmm. And if a politician is not a technician, I don't know what they can do. Mm-hmm. I really don't know what they understand. I said, when you fly in a commercial airliner today, you don't have to call the pilot and say you've been flying at an angle. Straighten up. He knows the business. The navigator knows how to get to where you're going. Mm-hmm. And it's all done by some branch of technology. So, is technology the answer? No. It has more answers than non-technology.
Okay.
Be good. Be kind. What do you mean by that? So to me it means that everyone should have access to a relevant education. All people all over the world need clean air, clean water, arable land, and a relevant education. Relevant means no advertising, no lawyers, no businessmen, no investment bankers, people that have the ability to make food grow, take care of physical injury. Those are the real people. I don't know of any other kind of people, mm-hmm. but there are people called philosophers, which sit back and meditate on their navel or go into a room and free their mind of all kinds of thought and come up with wonderful answers. What is needed in the world is peace and harmony. Mm-hmm. How do you attain that? I don't know. If you don't have a method of solving a problem, they say, I don't know what you're talking about, Jacque. So I said, well, if I had anything to do with it, with the running of a nation, I would take down signs, drive carefully, slippery when wet. I put abrasive in the highway so it's not slippery when wet. There's other signs, school district, 14 miles an hour. The power output would be 14 miles an hour. So you can step on the gas all you want to. And it says dangerous school children crossing. I designed a gadget that looks like this, and when a kid presses the button across the street, he can't go across until the red light goes on and the pavement turns up like that. It's like a cone. Mm-hmm. And so no car can hit a kid. That's how I say I care. Mm-hmm. I don't know what it means. I believe in peace and harmony and goodwill. Mm-hmm. I understand the language, but I know it has no backup.
Sure.
So the Venus Project differs from other projects in that when I said to myself, how are you going to change people? I said, I didn't know. So I joined the Ku Klux Klan. Did you know about that?
No, I didn't.
In Miami.
Did you?
And I dissolved it in a month and a half. There were 32 members, including the head guy.
Were you the 33rd member? Were you the 33rd member?
I was.
Okay, because we all know K is the 11th letter of the alphabet, 311. 311 is KKK, and 3 11s are also 33, so some good numerology going on there.
Let me just give you an idea of what happened. After that, I joined the White Citizens Council. Mm-hmm. They hate foreigners. So I joined by identification, so they identified with them. Mm-hmm. But I always worked on their leader. Mm-hmm. And I dissolved it in 1 month alone. And when I came back to New York from California, I asked a lot of people, well, who are the most backward people in the area?
Yeah.
They said the Arabs. And I said, what makes